Hey, Adam,
Geez,
one
why,
thing.
why do you think they called bumpers, Gary?
I don't know.
Because they come at the beginning, at the end, like bumpers.
Alex, you're a marketing guy. Do you like that design behind Paul? Does that logo thing look pretty cool to you?
Hey, I forgot to hit the record button.
Yeah, that's really professional, isn't it?
Well, this is a professional podcast.
I met her in a parking lot and was handed 2 little Yorkies. And the only person I knew that knew Yorkies was Paul. So I called Paul and said, Paul.
Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education and Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. Find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and SoundCloud and subscribe today. Now it's time to get started with Sweet Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sweet Talk, our weekly podcast here at Idaho State University's Continuing Education and Workforce Training. I am Paul Dickey, one of your hosts. I am the Video Instruction Manager and Apprenticeship Coordinator here at Sweet. And as always, joining me is our Interim Director, RaeLyn Price. RaeLyn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a great day.
It is a great day.
Beautiful outside. It's a beautiful day. And I get to visit with all you guys, so it's even better.
Excellent,
So,
excellent.
Yeah,
Having fun today.
yeah, it's a good day. So with us today, we've got Angie. Hello, Angie.
Hello, RaeLyn. I want to expand on something you said about how excited you are to visit with all of us today. I have said this over and over again. I believe this is one of the best departments at ISU. And part of that is because all of the employees within the department get along really well. We're very supportive of each other. So I'm glad you talked about that because it's such a great, only is it a great day, it's a great place to work.
I agree. Couldn't be better.
And we actually have one of our co-workers with us as a guest today. Today we have Shirley Hockett. Shirley is our front end manager as well as our office manager. She's very, very highly involved in all of the classes we have to offer. And we are going to have Shirley on today to talk about lifelong learning and why that is important, not only to the university, but to our community and to our department. Welcome, Shirley. Can you take a moment to introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Shirley Hockett. I work here at Continuing Education and Workforce Training. I've been here for a very long time.
How
Maybe,
long? How
no,
long,
we don't
Shirley?
know. But this is a good department. I've been here for quite a while. I've been through quite a few directors and managers, and yeah, it's gotten better over the years. That's what I can say.
Very good.
So Shirley, today we're talking about lifelong learning. And I just before this we started our podcast, a bunch of questions popped in my head, and I think I even said, what is lifelong learning and why is it important?
Well, lifelong learning is for anyone over the age of 35, 40, 50. In this particular area, it's those that are 50 years and older. We have 3 of them. We have one here in Pocatello, which is New Knowledge Adventures, NKA. We have one in Idaho Falls, which is Friends for Learning, FFL. And then we have one in Meridian, which is called NKA Treasure Valley. All 3 of them focus on classes that are, of course, non-credit. Some of them are fun. Some of them are educational. They do hiking. Some of them, they go on short trips. Sometimes they'll take a long trip. But it's the socialization that they get, because a lot of them are widowees. Is that the right word? And so it helps them feel like they've got a family. I know during my divorce, they became my family. When I had down moments and was just feeling like I was worthless and why did I do this and what was this for? And they were my support system because a lot of them had gone through it when they were younger. So, and the lifelong learning never stops, never stops. When I graduated with my associate's degree, my youngest son, as I was picking up a book and reading it, Mom, you graduated. Why are you still reading? And I told him, I said, you never want to stop learning. And I find this with this, as you might, a lot of people want to call them seniors, but I hate that word. When I worked at Walt Disney World for my internship, we called them young at heart, because they were young at heart. It's, I mean, we've got a gentleman who was in his, I'm thinking Charlie's almost 90 if he's not there, but I call him the mountain goat, because when they go on their hikes, who's leading the pack? It's Charlie, him and his little dog and his walking stick. And I haven't seen him for a while, so I don't know if his health has gotten the best of him, but he's out there walking. We have had a young lady in the group years ago who was approaching 100 years old.
Wow.
Since 2020, I don't know if she's still there or with us. I'm not sure. There's quite a few who we've lost with 2020 and the COVID and all that nonsense. But we've got a lot of them. They're still going strong. And I feel that when I started with the group years ago, when there was 60 of them, I could name them all off. Now I can't. But they're getting younger, I find. Retiring at a younger age, retiring when they can still enjoy life. I should take that lesson. And so we have a lot of them that are younger than 60 that are coming into the lifelong learning group. And then we have those that, of course, that are older that are still there with us. So, and what the university gets from that is you have individuals who have got grandchildren that are out there. They may be looking for a college to come to. They may be looking somewhere maybe to put some of their money. Maybe there's a department or a college or something that they feel their heart in it and might, dedicate some of their estate to. And I know some of the professors here on campus have taught some classes for the lifelong learning groups. And I think that's good because it keeps the university involved with them and they involved with the university.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
I know there's been growing pains with both groups. When they first started and I became involved with them, we had classes down in the sub, in the Salmon River Suites, the Clearwater room, in those rooms. And that's what, we still had a room set up as 50 and we could handle it, or room 35, we could handle people. And then they began to grow. And when they reached 100, it was like, yay, we reached 100. And now we're pretty close. At one time, we were close to 600.
Wow.
Then when 2020 hit, kind of the numbers shrank. But we're getting back up to our 500 number. And no, I cannot name all of them.
And that's just for our area, Shirley.
That's just for our area.
PKA,
Yeah.
Region.
Friends for Learning they're close to 200 because of 2020. Meridian, I think they're still small. They might be close to 200. They're not growing as fast as what I thought they would, being the area that they're in, but they're associated with AARP. So that's another discussion.
Okay.
But
So
they're
on
a
these,
fun group.
yeah. So on these lifelong learning classes, what kind of classes do they hold?
They have dance classes, line dance classes. They have wood carving. They have educational courses, history, health. They have general knowledge courses. They hiking classes. They do the theater and art classes. They have art classes, crafty classes. So, they have science and nature classes. And they go on trips. Some of them, they'll go on a short trip, like from here to Blackfoot to the Potato Museum. I know they've got one planned later for the Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which that's home for me. And it's real tempting to say, okay, I'm gone. Then they have another trip, the Minidoka, which they go up to the Japanese encampment camps.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's one that's coming up. But in the wintertime, they'll do a Yellowstone trip where they do snow coach, a snow coach. And then later in the spring, early in the spring, they'll do a Jackson Hole trip where they go up into the elk refuge.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so the trips, you know, you hear of all these cruises and these other fantastic trips you can go on with Colette and other individuals, and you know, you're thinking thousands and thousands of dollars. And but NKA, they try the shorter trips, the ones that are a little more economical, so that everybody can go.
I love that. You know, I read a study recently that said that higher educational institutions in the United States, of course, you know, the mission is education and research primarily, but I think it was about 44%. That's part of their mission is the lifelong learning.
Yeah.
And it is an important part of a university, the arm of a university, that outward facing part of the university to involve the community back into the university. You know, like you
Yes.
said, we've got a lot of retired faculty and staff who've worked at ISU who are part of our NKA program. And then some of them, you know, we count on some of our professors on campus to teach some of those classes. And those community members tend to give back to ISU. So it's a great kind of a circle
I
within
know
that
when
continuum.
we were doing a lot of conferences in this department, if I needed help for room monitors or help with check-in or just help in general, all I had to do was pick up the phone and call the NKA president because they're local and see if I could send out an email to the group and ask for some volunteers.
Volunteers.
And it's amazing. They're right there, Johnny, on the spot. The first of the month, we were I had a meeting with NKA, and they were saying, you know, Shirley, you're busy, you know, what do you got on your plate? And I was going through what we've got going. And one of the ladies spoke up and she says, well, if you need somebody, just come answer phones, do data entry, do just anything, call me and I'll come help. And my brain went, oh, that would be great. Oh, wait, university has rules. Yeah.
So
But
along with the other the NKA, Treasure Valley, and Friends for Learning, you also have just some lifelong learning classes that we provide to the community itself. Can you talk about those a little bit?
I'm not quite sure what you're looking for.
Like the cooking classes and the dancing classes that we
Oh,
have in the catalog.
yes, we have our suite catalog, which we offer dance classes and cooking classes and welding, all sorts of, you know, it goes from one end of the ruler to the other. We've got office classes if you want to brush up on those computer skills. We've got those if you want to learn how to write a novel. We sometimes have novel classes. If you just want to get grungy and just play in the paint or the mud, we've done some classes with the craft shop. I can't speak. Down on lower campus, we have a lot of painting classes that people are taking with our courses.
And these classes are in our catalog, so you don't have to be a member of the other groups to partake of those classes, correct?
There are some times that the community as well as the lifelong learners get a little confused when we send out the email that says the catalog's out there. And I get all these phone calls. Well, it said, I got an email, the catalog's out there. How come I don't see it? Well, how come I didn't get one? Well, no, my name, I've took classes for 18 years.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because there's two catalogs, aren't there?
Yeah, there's
Right.
two catalogs. So you have to explain to them, no, yours isn't out yet, it's coming. And the one that you saw mentioned was the continuing education workforce training catalog. That's ours. And we have a lot of individuals that from NKA will take courses from our continuing education workforce training catalog also. The art classes and I think mostly it's the art classes that they'll take.
Yeah. So maybe explain, Shirley, so NKA, it is a lifelong learning group, but it is a membership group. You do need to become a member of their group
Yes.
in order to be able to take those classes. Can you kind of talk about that for a second?
They do have membership fees. And those membership fees help pay for the catalog that's printed. It helps pay for incidentals. They are having to pay for room rent in order to have their classes. There's a couple of places that have nice dance floors that ISU doesn't have, and that we can't use. Well, because of the academic classes during the daytime and the NKA classes or lifelong learning classes during the daytime, they're not able to use them.
Share
So
those
they've gone
spaces.
out to the community, and the community has, at a reasonable price, rented them space.
Okay, that's good.
So
Oh, go ahead, Angie.
Okay, so I'd like to touch on a bit of what Shirley said and then bring her back in. There's quite a bit of overlap with the classes that we teach as well as NKA. We'll see NKA members or FFL members stop in our office. We have instructors at ISU that teach both for continuing education and for lifelong learning. It's a really, I believe, a great way. And now our classes aren't subject to any sort of age restriction.
No.
Most of them are 18 and over, but they're not restricted to those who are
I've
retired
gotten
folks. Mhm.
calls several years ago from some college students that were interested in a class that they saw in the catalog that their grandmother had. And
Okay.
they'd call and say, want to register. And you can tell by their voice, you know, how old they are. And I just said, well, how old are you? Well, I'm still in college. I'm a junior. Or I says, well, I hate to say this, but you're not old enough to take the classes. But they're so much fun. I says, yeah, but you have to wait a few more years. Well, that's just not fair. That's
Not fair.
discrimination.
That's so interesting. And also to add to that, the classes that you take through continuing education workforce training are not subject to a membership fee. You
No.
just pay the course fee. So two different kind of programs, but similar types of classes when you're looking at our community education classes. So that's great.
The lifelong learning group, some of their classes do have class fees, like their wine tasting or their food classes. Individual will come in and demonstrate how to prepare food, and they ask for just a nominal fee to help offset that food. And then for the wine tasting classes, because they have to uncap them and all that stuff that they have to do, there's a fee for that also. But usually there's not a class fee. Your art classes, yeah, but they're nominal. So the membership fee, with that, you can take one class or you can take all 105 for
Wow.
one,
Awesome.
yeah, membership
for
fee.
one fee. That's
Yeah.
great. So Shirley, what would you say is the biggest challenge for the lifelong learning groups?
The biggest challenge is finding places for classes and parking.
Parking, okay.
Yes, because of the, I don't want to see age, but because of the age and the physical disabilities that some of them have, having classes here on campus, if they have, right now they can't park, but to park at the end of the parking lot at the sub and then have to walk into the sub, that sometimes is a challenge to a lot of them. Sometimes the transit doesn't work as quickly and get you where you need to go. We had one member years ago, CJ Lammers, who would volunteer to take new members, meet them up at Holt Arena in the free parking zone, help them get on the bus, navigate the bus, you know, how you get on, how you get off, where you get off, down the hill to the sub. And that was kind of his job.
That's kind of cool.
That
Yeah,
is
That's
cool.
really cool.
It was a very, very sad day when CJ passed away.
Oh,
I never cried so hard in my life as I did when he passed away. He was a hugger. And I tell a lot of my new office people, there's not so many of them now, but when I started, there was like 4 or 5 that were huggers. And I told them, I said, if you have issues with people getting in your little bubble, I said, these 5 people are huggers. So beware. If you don't want to be hugged, you just need to look at them and say, I appreciate it, but I don't like to hug. And let them know, because they'll catch you off guard. but they're such
Your
a sweet
handout,
group.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Handout.
So Shirley, we're actually running out of time. This went so quickly. So I want to give everybody an opportunity for you to tell them how they would register for classes. For us, if you're looking to take a continuing education or a lifelong learning class from continuing ed from the university itself, you can find us at cetrain.isu.edu. And again, those range anything from courses that can get you into a career like CNA, phlebotomy, apprenticeships, to classes that help you socialize, meet people, get some friends. Those are cooking, dance classes, art classes. We have photography now. There's quite a bit to choose from. But surely, if someone's interested in one of the retired folks or young at heart groups, such as the NKA or FFL, where would they go to find the information?
With our group, and even with the Treasure Valley group, they can go to cetrain.isu.edu. And if they look under all programs and look for lifelong learning, and they will have this 3 different areas listed. And when we get the catalogs, we post those on the website. There are times that we'll get the catalogs early enough that they can look through them. They could print them, but they can't register as of yet until that registration date is opened, but they can preview the catalog there on our website. And when it comes times to register, sometimes online registration can be a little intimidating. They can either drop their registration form and their payment in the mail and mail it to us, or if they're out and about, they can bring it to the office and drop it off, and then we process it in a timely manner. Or say mail, or if they want to venture onto the website, they can do it on a website or give us a call. Now, sometimes if you call and it's the day of registration, the phone may ring and ring and ring and ring. We're not ignoring your phone call. I try to have a full staff, which is 3 to 5 people, and we've got that many phone lines that are busy. So again, we're not ignoring you. We're not neglecting you. If you leave us a message, we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. But when you've got 5 lines and all 5 lines we're busy, even myself, registration is crazy. Just be patient with us. We love you.
Registration is
Just be
crazy.
patient. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, great. This has been a great podcast. Thank you, Shirley, so much for being on today with us and explaining the lifelong learning that we offer here at Continuing Education and Workforce Training. Angie, thank you so much for your, putting all these podcasts together for us each week. RaeLyn, I'm going to switch it up. Can't do this without you.
Thank you,
And
Paul.
another note is we've had some people who moved to Pocatello because of the lifelong learning organization that we have.
Oh, nice.
They've done research through AARP or other, where's a good place to retire? Where's a good place to continue our education? And they've moved to Pocatello, Idaho, because they have a really good lifelong learning organization.
Excellent,
That's
excellent.
excellent.
Well, welcome to Pocatello. So, as Angie previously stated, if you're interested in our continuing education offerings, you can visit our website at cetrain.isu.edu, or you can email us at cetrain@isu.edu, or give us a call at 208-282-3372. And this podcast is our community outreach. It's how we tell you about what's happening in our department and our community. And if you like our podcast, please share, like, subscribe. And if you're interested in possibly being a guest on our podcast, reach out to us. We'd love to focus on someone who's in our community that would like to give us a little story or give us information that you think that our community would like to listen to. And as always, be safe out there.